Hi, this is Mrs. Secord. If you can find this page in your notebook, we're going to work on, I think, about 4 or 5 pages. An altitude. An altitude is a perpendicular segment with one endpoint at the vertex and the other endpoint on the side opposite that vertex. So B, opposite B, is this side, and it's perpendicular. And I put the point where it would work. So let's go ahead and draw in that perpendicular line, just like that. And then we'll put a right angle symbol. Okay. Now, if you draw in all 3 altitudes, we will get a center. It's called an orthocenter. So we'll go ahead and draw those in. E goes across. And then F would go here. And D would go across over here. And see how they are, we call this concurrent. That spot where they cross is called the orthocenter. Like the other one was called a centroid for the medians. Okay, let's go on. Now let's talk about a perpendicular bisector. It's a line that forms a right angle to a segment at its midpoint. So I want to bisect this, and I've already drawn it in here. This would be a right angle. Okay, and remember how we were doing that yesterday, where we took the arcs and we drew an arc this way and one this way and then drew the line? That right here is the bisector. This segment is equal to this segment. Okay. Now again, I've helped you out with this. I said A is to A prime. C is to C prime. And B is to the B prime. Those are all perpendicular bisectors. This is a midpoint, B is. And it's cut it into 2 equal parts. And see, I'm getting a right angle here, one here, and one here. Okay, this is called a circumcenter, and it's an interesting point. I'm going to go to my math tools and bring out my compass. And I want to show you what this does. If you take your compass and put the point right here on the circumcenter, and let's bring this down. Can't remember how to make, there we go. Right to that point. Now I can draw a circle, and it touches every vertex on the triangle. Well, I'm a little off there, but that was the center of the circle. It circumscribed the triangle. Okay. Angle bisector. Now we were cutting those in half, so let's go ahead and do that. If I draw in this line, that is the angle bisector. Now it says, let's say ABC, this angle ABC, being my B being the vertex, is 64 degrees. Okay, I'll write it in here. This is 64 degrees, that whole thing. Then what are the two smaller angles now? Well, wouldn't this be 32? And this one would also be 32 because I've bisected, I've cut it in half. Now let's draw in the angle bisectors here. F goes over to here. G and E. See how they meet? That's a special center also. It's called the in center. And let's write our angles in, the degrees. If EFG is 80, this angle right here is 80, then both of these must be 40. And if this angle FEG, this angle up here is 60, then these two must be 30. Bisected it. And if this angle down here is 40 degrees, then FGE is 40, then this angle right here is 20, and so is this angle. Now, an in-center is kind of interesting. I'll take the compass again. And I'll place my compass on the in-center. Okay, now this, I think I have to change this just a little bit. I'm a little off on this, but I'm going to try it anyways. If I bring this down to here, I think I can draw a circle inside. I know I need to adjust this, you guys. It's supposed to be perpendicular here. I think, let's try it. It's close. It's very close. There's a slight adjustment I'm supposed to do, but the circle is inside and in center. So that point is where the radius comes out. Okay, one last thing. I've got those 4 line segments dashed in there, and I want you to tell me which one's the altitude, which one's the median, which one's the perpendicular bisector, and which one is the angle bisector from the triangle on the grid. Be clear with your responses. All right. First one I'm looking at is AD. AD. This right here. What is that? Well, AD is the angle bisector, right? Cut this into 18 and 18. So that's the angle bisector. All right, the next one. Let's erase that. I'm looking at BG. BG. What is this? Well, it looks like it makes a right angle. And it looks like it's the midpoint right here. This is 3 over here, right? From A to G, and G to E is also 3, 3, and 3. So it's perpendicular and it bisects. It's a perpendicular bisector. Just use my perpendicular sign. Bisector. All right, let's erase this. And now we're looking at CG. CG. From C down to here. Okay, it looks like I've cut it into equal parts from the vertex to the midpoint. From the vertex to the midpoint. What do we call that pink line? Done with that one. And we're done with the angle bisector. That's not an altitude. That's what we call a median. Goes from the vertex up here to the midpoint. Then CF must be the altitude. All right, and let's check that out. Okay, so the CF, yeah, see how it's straight down? Makes a right angle. Okay, so that is the altitude. And thank you.